There is a season of Digimon that a gigantic portion of the people who like Digimon never watched. Some didn't know it existed, some say it doesn't count, some were preoccupied watching the other Digimon series that literally ran alongside this one. Maybe it was because the TV anime that came before it, Digimon Cross Wars, didn't perform as well and the creators questioned whether the name Digimon had the same brand power it used to, or maybe it's because the 6 Digimon Adventure Tri movies were rolling out at that time and they did not want to mix up the marketing. But we got our first Digimon Universe spin-off show. The show is 2016's Digimon Universe Appli Monsters, sometimes just referred to as Applimon or Appmon. For a lot of people, myself included, Appmon immediately felt like something to dismiss because it wasn't even called Digimon. It sounded optional, and because Tri was clearly the Digimon series meant for older fans, this Appmon thing must have been catered to small children and not worth our time, right? Well, in October 2021, you helped me raise money for Princess Margaret Cancer Foundation, and I said that if we raised $500, I would jump into the series blind for the first time and report my findings. And I'm here to tell you the truth about Digimon Universe Appli Monsters. Guys, Appmon is Digimon. It is so Digimon. It's a tragedy that the name makes you think it isn't. The character dynamics, the monster designs, most importantly the story being this reflection on tech and cautionary tale about artificial intelligence. Appmon is not just Digimon, it's probably one of the best Digimon series and it was overlooked by almost everybody. So today I'm going to talk you through the first 10 episodes to give you a sense of what you can expect from the show. I'm going to highlight some of the moments and themes that are extremely good and extremely Digimon in order to try and convince you that watching Digimon Universe Appmon is worth your time. You might even notice some similarities to what's going on in the new show Digimon Ghost Game, which I believe is heavily inspired by Applimon. Without further ado, let's dive into Digimon Universe Appli Monster. Episode 1. The pilot has one of the strongest openings to a Digimon series ever in my opinion, with our new lead Digimon, Gachmon, flying through the internet looking up at a series of tile-shaped doors of light. He chooses one and pops out, and in the real world we meet this junior high student Haru, who suddenly sees an app on his phone start to bubble and burst out like a PSP with a bloated battery, and out comes Gachmon. The visual of the app popping like a tile is great, very strong visually, very intriguing story-wise. If Appmon wanted to not be Digimon, it isn't doing a very good job because Haru has this pair of goggles right away. Immediately I'm going, oh yeah, no, this feels like Digimon. Haru is obsessed with the idea of protagonists, not unlike any other kid at that age who watches cartoons and plays RPGs. We get back to the meeting of Gachmon and Haru. Gachmon grills Haru asking, you call yourself a protagonist? And when they buddy up, Gachmon says something like, well, this is how these stories work, right? Which it's like the show knows it's a Digimon series and is hyper aware of the Digimon formula and providing commentary on that formula. The first antagonist of the series is Messemon, a corrupted messenger app who is leaking private messages from chats all across town. This is kind of a big deal, and the series will continue to demonstrate how easily we are completely screwed if technology goes wrong or goes rogue. To fight Messemon, we go into this AR field. It's not quite the digital world, but it's a space resembling the city, but you know, digital. If you've watched Digimon Ghost Game, it's almost the exact same concept. Gachmon is initially losing the fight. It's downed and says, when I searched for a buddy, I found you, Haru, which is very sweet. Haru pairs Gachmon with his app drive from the vending machine, and it allows Gachmon to app realize. This is also like Ghost Game, where the Digimon go from transparent to fully opaque, and now Gachmon can actually damage Messemon. With the enemy defeated, Haru and Gachmon walk home, and it's the beginning of a beautiful buddy ship. Episode 2. Before the episode formally starts, we get this voiceover that'll become a constant, and it says, an AI is lurking in the deep web, and in the year 2045, AI will overtake humans. It's weirdly creepy for a digital monster story, and I like it a lot. It's also setting the stage for a future confrontation. We know very early that the series villain is an artificial intelligence that is out there and that we're on a time crunch because it's an inevitability that AI will overtake humanity in the show. Digimon Tri, Digimon 2020, and even Ghost Game so far as of episode 8 are kind of suffering from, quote, what is even going on syndrome, but Appmon solves this very early with the distant looming threat of the AI Leviathan. In the episode, the navigation apps that everyone uses are going crazy. Another premise that shows how vulnerable we are to tech now that without your Google Maps, some people can't even find their way home in a city they live in. We get our first Digivolution of the series, well, Appmon's equivalent of Digivolutions, and Gachmon turns into the 3D Dogachmon. Apparently the 3D animation in this show is controversial, but I think it looks incredible. 3D in anime is a whole never-ending debate, and I usually don't like it myself, but that's when they layer 3D on top of 2D in an inorganic way that doesn't really make sense. But here, we're in that AR field, things already look all digital, and Gachmon is from another world, so I believe that this digital monster would take on this 3D form. In other words, if you can rationalize the use of 3D in your storytelling, then I'm okay with 3D in 2D anime, and Appmon totally succeeds. Episode 3, the next enemy Appmon is the manifestation of a cancelled video game. It's a neat idea. We basically lose the fight, but Haru admits he likes the game, and it makes our opponent emotional to finally hear a human say they liked his game. Very cute, very Ghost Game again. again with the Talk no Jitsu being the solution, not just a fist fight and see who's stronger. It's also the first time we hear about the 7-code Appmon, special Appmon that apparently can stop the evil AI Leviathan. It's only episode 3 and we're getting a lot of lore, which is great. And then we meet our villainous cool boy Ray, and I love this design. This is the Ken of the season, the evil 6 Power Ranger, all that jazz, and his design and his Digimon are fantastic. He says, "I won't let you touch Leviathan," and the episode ends there. There's a lot to love in the first 3 episodes. Episode 4 is a Halloween themed episode, which is funny because Ghost Game episode 4 is also Halloween themed, but it's not until episode 5 when we meet the second human member of the team, and when we do, it's fantastic. Eri is an idol in training essentially, and they do something I absolutely love with the relationship between Eri and her Appmon, Dokamon. At the start, she is not a fan of Dokamon. He's a total burden, he's loud and annoying, and she's embarrassed by him. Dokamon is an action game app, and what's cool is that when Haru and Gachmon fight, there's a phone keyboard that spawns for Haru to control Gachmon with, but when Eri and Dokamon fight, Eri gets this virtual D-pad and 2 buttons like an NES controller for inputting fight commands. It's a cool touch. Episode 6 is another Eri episode. She needs to go on TV and be a guest food critic, but she's awful at describing tastes. I found this hilarious and weirdly relatable. Gomimon/Garbamon is the enemy this week at first, but he joins the team, and wait a sec, Appmon is able to do something extremely cool given the fact it's not an official Digimon series, and that's giving the kids multiple partners, Pokemon style. Like Ash and Pikachu are obviously the original team, but Ash has other monsters, and that's exactly what is happening in Appmon. It's super refreshing, I adore this, and it's not just Pokemon that it's similar to, it's like Monster Rancher and even the Digimon video games, honestly, where you collect multiple Digimon. We see Dokamon's evolution, Dosukomon, and surprise, surprise, it goes 3D, and guess what? I still love it. I still think it looks amazing. Episode 7 is where we meet our third hero, Astora, who is an app tuber. Now, I learned on Twitter that some people think having a YouTuber protagonist is like super cringe, but I have to ask why. The best Digimon stories are reflections of where we are with tech and children's relationship to tech, and guess what? A lot of kids these days want to grow up to be YouTubers. It's cool to me that he's in this show. I love that a Digimon hero is a YouTuber. My only wish is that he wasn't actually mega popular. I think it would have been more realistic, like Bo Burnham's movie 8th Grade, where the kid in that movie makes videos that really nobody even watches. Instead, Astora is actually really popular on AppTube, which is fine, but I would have preferred if they were like a nobody. His whole story though is actually about life and moderation. His traditional dad is actually really sweet and understanding. Their relationship isn't toxic at all. He allows Astora 30 minutes a day to spend on his AppTube. That's a good parent in my opinion. And on the other end, Astora isn't like turning his back on the family business. My understanding is AppTube is his hobby hustle kind of thing, but he still intends to grow up and take over the family school. He just wants to have fun first. And it really resonated with me that not everybody making YouTube videos has to want YouTube to be their full-time career. Some people just like doing it. Episode 8 is the AppTuber's second character episode. Same with how Eri got 2 back-to-back. It has a legitimately cool premise, which is a YouTuber running out of ideas, kind of getting creative block, getting kind of desperate to stay relevant and compete with someone he is deciding is his rival. As far as we know, the other guy isn't even rude to Astora or anything. I thought this was really real because it's hard not to compare yourself to others when doing YouTube because it's so metric based. Like you can be super proud of a creator, but also frustrated like why aren't I taking off the way that they are? So this worked a great deal for me. Shout out to episode 8. Episode 9 is this weird power rankings episode, which is kind of like the hero rankings in My Hero Academia. The team wants to figure out which of the Appmon we've met so far is the best. But it's fitting since 2 of our 3 heroes are a YouTuber and an idol, so of course they would be into, you know, rankings and tier lists and all that kind of stuff. It all starts when Gachmon and Navimon are writing their own Wikipedia page essentially for Dogachmon, which is hilarious. I haven't seen Digimon kind of address and acknowledge real-world tech and websites and apps this way since our wargame in 2000, and for some reason people have called this cringe, and again I say no, this is Digimon doing Digimon really well. Throughout the episode we start really talking seriously about AI and the impending threat. Quote, everything done by humans could be done by AI, idols, AppTubers. This thought is kind of horrifying, and then we get even more existential because Haru says, but I don't think all AI is bad. After all, Appmon are AI, right? It's all great stuff. This is Digimon, you guys. Like, this is Digimon. Ray shows up again to confront our team. Once again, his Digimon, or his Appmon, Hackmon, is sick. Then we get my favorite bit of storytelling in all of the 9 episodes so far. Remember the AR field, how it kind of looked like Tokyo, but it was all destroyed and digital? Ray monologues, quote, do you know why the AR field looks like this? It's the world projected by Leviathan. Someday, Leviathan will devour everything. This is so good. So every visit to and fight in the AR field so far has been in our post-apocalyptic AI future. It was just a twist I didn't see coming, and I thought it was so great to say, hey, surprise, that area you've been fighting in, that's what the world is going to look like if the villain gets its way. In episode 10, the final one we'll talk about, Ray successfully swipes the 7-code Digimon we've collected so far. Hackmon evolves to Raydramon, not the Raydramon you're thinking of, and looks incredible. Again, Ray says, "I won't let you touch Leviathan." It's super intriguing to learn that this kid is defending the evil AI. Then he says double hack, which is hilarious and kind of meme worthy, and I'm not defending that, it's just funny. He wins and gets away, and he takes some of the Digimon, and that's kind of a big deal. It's kind of traumatic. Like, these are our friends. Imagine if a Digimon antagonist showed up in Adventure 2020 and just stole Agumon from Taichi. That would be a big deal. So that is episode 10, and the story is moving in a way that Digimon Adventure 2020 was not at that point. The story is clear in a way that Digimon Adventure Tri was really not in its first 10 episodes. We have an overarching threat with Leviathan, an immediate threat with Ray, who's stolen our Appmon partners, a great team of main characters in my opinion, with one interested in being a protagonist, one interested in being an idol, and one interested in being a YouTuber. This is a modern and relatable trio of characters in a show that is constantly reminding us about the wonder and horror of our technology, and that, in my opinion, is everything that makes Digimon great. Believe me, I know that hearing Appmon makes you immediately go, oh, the spinoff? No, I'm out. But if it wasn't already clear from my recap of the first 10 episodes, Digimon Universe Appli Monster is not just a worthy Digimon series, it's probably one of the best Digimon stories, and I encourage anyone who ever enjoyed Digimon to check the show out. The next time I talk about Appmon, it will probably be me covering the entire series, like a Billiam style retrospective kind of thing, so stay tuned and subscribe for that. But I wanted to do the first 10 episode video first, just so you could dip your toe in. Thank you so much for watching. Like the video and subscribe if you haven't already for more Digimon content like this, and please go check out Digimon Universe Appli Monster.